Welcome everybody to another YouTube exclusive Voice of Nick episode. We're playing more Abyss Odyssey, and we're gonna see if we can keep making our way downwards. Now, I'm realizing now that it seems like these guys are like priests, and they're always at this like temple locale. So at least we can rely on that. Oh, I don't actually have... Ooh, it's this guy! That's the guy we want! Okay, hold up. Let's try and get him. Don't jump over it. Yeah, there you go. Okay, now when we kill him, we're gonna get him. Got him. I can't get him until he dies. Alright, let's just hang out here and wait then. There we go. Oh yeah. That's that good combo that we like. Damn, but this guy can really counter it. He's got the brute strength. Alright, so we're trying to make our way down. Really our one objective right now, as has been for the last few episodes, is to just get this last page.
This is all I can do now. Take this. Kill any nearby monsters for me. Maybe I can go with some peace and quiet.
Alright, we got 10,000.
Kill any nearby monsters for me.
Guy, I just poured some coffee. Couldn't you have some longer dialogue? Alright, one-handed jump. Ready? Coffee drinking jump. Yeah, baby. That's some one-handed platforming for you right there. Oh, we got a mid-boss. Alright, let's switch to this guy. It's him again? And he has the fishbone thing. How do we get the same guy with the same weapon? Is this 2 floors in a row or just very recent? We just fought this guy with the same exact weapon too. I love that drop kick move, it's so good. Oh, but he can still get us through that move. Ah, yeah, this guy's... He's got a lot of, like, poise, if we're talking in Dark Souls terms. Alright, let's go back to Katrian. Ah! Man, he really goes through a lot of attacks. We're just gonna use one of these health potions. Alright, we don't know where we are in... I think we're like... Now we're probably 3 away from the end. Or from the Warlock, I mean. So we have some time to make some health back.
My sayings give wisdom to some, but not much of anything to others. Care to listen for 100 gold?
You know, I'm just now realizing that these rings and bracelets are visually represented on our character. I never noticed that. So the necklace is a glow on the collarbone, the ring is a glow on the hand, and the bracelet is a glow on the wrist. I did not notice that. So you can actually see, and they're colored too. They're color-coded based on what they do, because the bracelet is an ice bracelet, and it's blue. I never saw that.
When money speaks, everyone keeps quiet.
Well, learn something new every episode. This game really is like, you really learn something every time. It's never the same. And it's so funny because it seems like such a simple game, you know? It's like, oh, you think you have the measure of this game right as soon as you start playing it. Like, oh yeah, it's just like you beat up all the guys and you get to the bottom. But it's really not that at all. Well, it is that, but it also isn't. It isn't what you ever think it is. Ah, I thought we could get that guy. Just try it, try it. Ha ha ha! Try it again. I'll wait. I got all the time in the world. Ha ha ha! Ah. Thought I was faking the thing out, but it didn't work. Yeah, look, this guy's back here again. He must be like the priest of this like temple thing. Yeah, see, we can't hit him with the low attacks. He's too tall for the low attacks. Damn, man. Ah. Yeah. Come on, baby. We need a new capture too, so we gotta get all this mana. Oh yeah, we're about to be dead. That's a really good combo. So it's down, forward, and then up. Ooh, that's the last page! Oh wait, no, it's not necessarily the last page. It is a new page. We don't know that it's the page, because you can still get duplicate. Nope, we got all the pages. All right, ladies and gents, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready? We did it. We did it. I can't believe that wasn't an achievement. Was that not an achievement? Our most recent achievement is capture level 25 enemy. Wow. Here we go. The Warlock's Journal. In this diary, I shall write down my dreams, memories, and desires. It is a good idea for a warlock to write these things down so that they are not forgotten, for one never knows from whence inspiration will appear. Perhaps some apprentice may benefit from my musings. My first memory is that of my aunt, who suffered disgrace from the practice of her craft. She was ever reckless with her sorcery, and knowing nothing of these arts at the time, the events which followed weighed heavily upon me in the innocence of youth. At that time, my aunt served as messenger for a very powerful warlock. In order to deliver his messages, she would transform into the shape of a bird and fly into the night. This may appear to be pure fantasy to the uninitiated, yet what I say is the truth. As a warlock now, I know these things to be possible, that a woman who undergoes such a metamorphosis is known as a voladora. Though they look like a nocturnal bird, voladoras frighten people because of their cries sound like those of a woman. For a voladora to transform into a bird, she must first regurgitate her entrails into a bowl or other hidden place. She does so carefully that she might later ingest them and revert back to her humanly form. One can scarcely imagine the misfortune that might befall a voladora unable to retrieve her organs, condemned to assume the form of a bird for all eternity. However, an even worse fate befell my aunt. One night, after carrying out her duties, she returned to find her entrails partially eaten by a stray canine, leaving my aunt forevermore bound to a grotesque half-bird, half-woman shape. Wanting nothing to do with the dark arts, my parents shunned her from their home thereafter, seeing my aunt's birdwoman form as my last memory of her, and despite the hideousness of that memory, it left an indelible mark on my young mind. From that day forward, I knew that witches and warlocks existed, and that they possessed unimaginable power. Sensing my growing fascination with the dark arts, my parents sought to tame my curiosity by ridding our home of all books, save for encyclopedias and those about history or art. They were quick to anger should I prod our guests for stories about the paranormal, and they were exceedingly unhappy if I looked for rare tomes in my uncle's curious strongbox. Something that did, however, spark my interest among the books I was allowed to read was a chapter that spoke of a great violinist named Paganini. The book stated that Paganini's talent far exceeded other such violinists, so much so that when the strings of his violin broke, he was still able to produce the same marvelous notes as if nothing had happened. It was rumored that Paganini's virtuosity was the product of a pact he made with the devil, while the author claimed these rumors to be born of nothing more than superstition or envy. I see no reason other than cowardice to deny an explanation so simple yet self-evident. For my part, an unquenchable thirst to uncover the true mysteries of the occult was growing inside. In the years that followed, I searched desperately for any information I could uncover. My parents allowed me to study European texts, thinking that all European were educational, and that what I learned there was purely cultish and sure to take me down the wrong path. Or what I learned here was purely cultish. I can clearly recall my first true nightmare, born of my exposure to old world lore, wholly unlike the fears which ordinarily haunt my countrymen. The nightmare concerned a Bauta, a Venetian man wearing a grotesque mask and black cape. Bautas were forbidden from carrying a blade, for their concealed face might grant the ability to assassinate their fellow man without being identified. The Bauta in my nightmare, however, concealed a poison-tipped dagger and murderous intent. As he approached, his cape blocked out the sky until soon after all went dark. I will never forget the pain of waking up to the cold, sharp steel tip of his dagger. At the age of 17, I finally had an opportunity to come in contact with a real warlock. I heard of a neighbor in Kikavi who claimed there was a Camahueto within his lands. To any who might be reading and unfamiliar, a Camahueto is a single-horned bull underground in swampy areas. Once a Camahueto matures, it will stampede toward the sea, causing great destruction and carving rivers in its path. I knew this would be my opportunity to meet a warlock, for only we have the power to capture such a beast. There is a great power within a Camahueto's horn. I left my parents' home at sunset, not knowing that I would never return. I went to the farm in Kikavi to search where the Camahueto slept and intended to wait there until a warlock showed up to capture it. It took me several hours, but finally I found a knoll where I was certain of the beast's presence below. Pressing my ear to the ground, I could hear the formidable bull breathing. I waited, and I waited. Night turned to day, which turned back to night again. As the hour grew late, exhaustion took me. Exhaustion and more nightmares. In my nightmare, the mound I was watching burst open, but instead of the creature I expected, something else entirely emerged. It had the body of a lion with 4 wings, eyes all over, and a face like that of an old man. It was enormous and spotted me hiding with its many eyes. When I awoke, I found the mound had indeed burst open. The Camahueto had left the pit. As I tracked it, I thought about the monster in my dream. It had come from a biblical story my father had once read to me. A wave of guilt passed over me. I had left the house in the night, without so much as a word. But my prize was near. I could hear it. I could hear the voice of the warlock who had so recently subjugated the beast. The Camahueto was bound in a rope made of seaweed, and its horn had been sawn off. I followed silently as the warlock entered the deep forest. I would have been lost. I had no one to follow, and my stomach was empty, having not eaten for a few days. Yet I pressed deeper into the suffocating wood, sating myself on caterpillars from the undergrowth. Finally, we reached his lair, a hidden cave. Hungry, cold, tired, and nauseous from a recent meal eaten in desperation, I was initially too terrified to enter. As fate would have it, the warlock did not tarry long within its lair, and soon after his departure, I decided to seek shelter inside myself. A fire burned in the middle of the cave, and as my eyes adjusted to the light, I could see the warlock's tools, cemetery dirt to curse homes, lizard and ointments. And lying open on a table, exactly what I wanted most of all, a tome of his conjures. Although intending to steal it, I could not resist glancing at the page he had been working on. I was not prepared to read those words. They detailed a process I would never follow. Though I knew warlocks often did things considered reprehensible by the average man, this was something beyond contempt. It detailed the steps to create an invunche. This warlock was studying how to create an invunche. A newborn would be raised in that cave, fed only the milk of a black cat and flesh. Over time, his figure will be deformed, fusing one of his legs to the back of his neck. This would prevent the invunche from fleeing, for his job would be to serve his master and guard the cave. So absorbed in this tome was I that I did not hear the warlock returning, not until I heard the cries of the newborn in his clutches. He was at least as surprised as me to see me as I was him. I knew in that instant, as our eyes met across the room, that I would need to fight for my life. Grabbing a hot poker from the fire, he lunged at me, but I was ready for him. We struggled to the floor, and as we wrestled there, I managed to push him into the fire. His jacket catching flame, he did not relent in his attack. The man cursed at me in some unfamiliar tongue, until at last he collapsed. I rescued the babe from his clutches, and as my prize, I claimed his tome of conjures. When the sun shone again, I exited the cave and made my way out of the forest, taking note of the path I took, should I desire to return and search back through the man's treasures again. I was starving when I reached the nearest settlement, a fishing village. A family by the name of Jansen took me and the babe into their home. I recounted the events of the past few days, though I did not divulge the location of his lair, nor did I share with them the reasons for following the warlock there. They were convinced it was a warlock who had plagued their village for the past decade. I was dubbed a hero for saving the child and slaying the warlock, a title which would normally have made me feel uncomfortable, but it did earn me the attention of Mr. Jansen's most attractive daughter, Katrienne. I decided to rethink my plans of leaving. Like so many in the town I now called home, Katrienne's ancestors arrived from the Netherlands, attempting to settle down after a long career in piracy. Although generations have passed since those days of high seas marauding, some are embarrassed by this aspect of their ancestry. Katrienne, on the other hand, embraced a Corsair heritage, never shying away from a chance to display it proudly. She even took to the study of fencing, an uncommon pastime to be sure, yet it always numbered highly among the many qualities about her that I found so uncommonly alluring. In time, I came to realize the tome I stole was perhaps the greatest of its kind. Soon I would have the power to morph into animals, fly, curse my enemies, and even venture into the ocean to tame its wondrous beasts. But most importantly, with this tome I could become a powerful warlock by my own means, avoiding the cruel rites other initiates usually face. To invoke the devil, the source of all our power, apprentices are forced to sacrifice a loved one and to serve an elder warlock for many years. Having never undergone these tasks, I was able to keep my abilities a secret to all and retain a normal life with my dear Katrienne in the light of day. My sacrifices were my own to choose, but I still had all the talents granted by the devil. Katrienne found the Tome of Conjures. She read from its pages and with ease pieced together my secret life. Another ominous nightmare. Strange how often they are inflicted by the biblical tales my father once read to me. Returning now to haunt my dreams. A pale horse stood beside me, a rider, a judge, and a warlord. His eyes blazed with a fire, and on his head he wore many crowns. His robes were dipped in blood, and from his mouth emerged a sharp blade. He killed without mercy, and the birds grew fat on the flesh of his victims. It was a premonition, a warning, protecting me from imminent judgment. I awoke to hear Katrienne sneaking off. I followed her into the night. Remaining unseen in pursuit was made easier thanks to my cloak, my makun. As I feared, Katrienne was heading to our local chapel to meet with the priest. I took the form of a bird in order to gain a closer look. My suspicions were confirmed. No sooner had she met with the father than threw salt onto the fireplace. Warding the room from one such as I, unable to breathe the air, I was forced to leave. What did she tell him in those late hours? If she spoke of my craft, it would mean my death. I had to make her forget, and I knew of one such spell to aid me. With some human hair and a root I already possessed, I needed to but invoke her name to make her forget all she knew of my sorcery. She would be a threat to me no more. I could sleep in peace at last. Too much Nulka root? Perhaps it was the wrong hair. Did I chant her name one too many times? I do not know why, but my spell failed. Katrienne did not wake up. I want only to sleep. The waking world was now once my solace from the terrors of my dreams, but now I want nothing more than to leave this place, to sleep forever. Damn. I'm glad we waited. That was a great story. Good stuff, ladies and gents. We got the Warlock's entire journal. I still can't believe that that was not an achievement. Unless maybe I already got it. Maybe I had already gotten the entire Warlock's journal the last time I played this game. Let's look at our achievements. Lord of Sleep? No. Uncover the Warlock's secret I unlocked in 2014. Maybe I did get this achievement already. Wow. All of these other ones I got in 2020, but this is the only one. This can't be right. This has to be an early. How would I have gotten such a late game achievement and not have gotten any of the other ones in 2014? Either way, really cool story. Prime candidate for a books and games reading. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Damn. Damn, this one's hard. You can't really get out of the way of this thing. Alright, so if my calculations are correct, we want to get killed here so that the guy can bring us back. Oh, wait! Shouldn't have done that. Well, you know what? We should. We should. Because we'll still get all the items. No, we'll get the necklace. Okay, we don't get all the items. But we get the sword and we get the necklace. Alright, so now we'll be able to resurrect her on the next level, and that's the last one before the boss. I think this is probably the right move to make. I don't know. We weren't going to do that well if we had like 200 health as Catriane. Unfortunately, we lost our good ring and we lost our good charm. But we have the good necklace and we have the really good sword, so I think we're good. Guys, that's going to do it for Abyss Odyssey this time. Thank you for joining. We finally got the journal. That was like my biggest thing I was looking for this whole time. So let's see what happens now that we see the Warlock after getting the journal. Might be some new stuff. I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you subscribe on this YouTube channel to see all these come out. They come out every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. These episodes of Abyss Odyssey. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.